All right. So the coronavirus is here. How is that going to affect us? Is it affecting shipments? Is it affecting supply chains? There's a lot of questions out there. Is it safe to even import goods from a country that maybe has the coronavirus? That's why I'm glad to bring on somebody who knows more about a lot of this supply chain stuff than I do. So I'm excited to have here Pam Cail from RPC Logistics. Pam, how are you today?
Hi, great, great. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the favorite subject du jour of everyone these days, which is coronavirus, because it is something that is affecting, as we're bringing goods into the country. I know a lot of people are curious, like, is it something that's even safe to do? Am I going to get my customer safe? Or get my customer sick, I should say, by bringing stuff in? Is it even a hazard? So let's talk a little bit about I know you did some research. Now, just the disclaimer here is we're not medical experts. We're just, for that part, we looked into it from medical experts. So what have you found so far, Pam?
That is true. The CDC and the World Health Organization have both stated that there has been no exception and no what should I say, infection of the virus through packages, letters, any type of receiving of China or imports. Now, they actually have gone on the website and there it's shown here that we have both of them documented. I'll even tell you the surface or object for the virus, it will not hold up. It's something that goes through the through mouth, nose, eyes, mucus, that type. When someone who has the virus touches a package or a cardboard box, something like that, it will not stay alive.
Gotcha. Yeah. So really what it was coming down to is, and I'm going to go over to that other page here where we were looking at. So basically, it spreads more person to person,
Yes.
generally with someone within 6 feet, and it's respiratory droplets produced by coughs and sneezing. So the boxes usually don't cough at you, whereas a person might. So if you see someone coughing, stay away from them. And then if, you are around someone that's coughing, maybe be more likely to sanitize your hands, wash your hands, use precaution and things of that nature. And then, the CDC, as well as the World Health Organization, to your point, did say it's not likely to spread, through surfaces, especially something that's been shipped, because it's not likely to last all that long. And we've got the links down below to all that. So, there are smarter people than us, point being, that are saying this isn't just Pollyanna on our part, that this is not something you should worry about, at least from a shipping. This is something we should be concerned about in general, but this isn't something we need to worry about with shipping. So now, whenever there are things like this happening, it is going to affect things in the supply chain, factories going back to work, because they're doing this right out of Chinese New Year. So now all of a sudden there's factories trying to figure out, their staffing levels and getting people back, because there was delays in some of that. So what does it look like from what you're seeing from stuff leaving the country? Is stuff even leaving the country at all?
Some of it, if they had the product and the supplies already at their manufacturing site. So most of the people are back to work. And in China, there is a small area that's landlocked that's called Hubei, Hubei, and that is not back to work fully. That's basically to the left of Shanghai. 11 hours from Shanghai, if you want to, put numbers to it.
Sure.
But that is the only one. Everybody else seems to be back to work as of this week that I'm seeing. Now, there may be some backwoods manufacturers that aren't back, and that's just a travel transportation type, logistics type thing. So what we're seeing though is two types of slowdowns. Possibly the supplier is back, but the actual equipment to make your product is not all there.
Okay.
and they're waiting on orders to be fulfilled, which should be coming soon since everybody's back to work. So yes, you may have a couple days delay on the product as far as that, but then also you might want to communicate with your supplier and say, okay, I've had a purple button on this for for years.
Hmm.
Do you have blue buttons available? Can I put a blue button on it?
Right. So you could look at potential alternates and things like that. That's a good idea.
Exactly.
Now, what I'm more concerned about though is the question from the shipping standpoint. So, how long have you been doing shipping?
37 years going on
37
38.
years. Okay, so you've seen a few shipments come in and out, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to Chinese New Year, is the usually kind of a ramp up period after Chinese New Year, or is it one of those things that it's a mad rush, everybody trying to get stuff out of the country once Chinese New Year is over?
Well, before Chinese New Year, you have a mad rush to get everything out.
Oh yeah, it can be crazy.
And then after Chinese New Year, we've always had a 2 to 3 week delay because the manufacturers and everybody's getting back to work and they're
Sure.
slowly coming in. So we are, as the importers, we're quite used to this. And I know the media is taking all this and making drama and good news out of it.
Sure.
But as an experienced importer, we are used to rolling with the flow. I mean, so
Right.
yes, this has been an extension, but it really hasn't been that long of an extension for us being importers. And hey, we've been trained for years how to worry about our stock levels and make sure that we've got our supply and demand. So Chinese New Year and then the new October holiday, the national holiday that leaves us in a peak season for our Christmas rush.
Sure.
That's kind of educated us to be able to roll with this a little easier.
Sure. Sure. Now, here's my question on that. So, for this point in the season, now that we're past Chinese New Year, are you seeing the boats are fuller with people trying to rush stuff out, or is it not as full as it would be? Like, let's say sea shipping or even air shipping, or let's say both.
Right, it's not as full. We do see a downsize in the merchandise because of the delay in getting back. However, that's not to say that this will last, for months or whatever.
Sure.
I am seeing through my experience that right now the container rates are and also the LCL rates are actually dropping. Now, this won't happen forever because remember, everybody's going to be ready in about 5 or 6 weeks. So then we're going to create that mad rush again. And the steamship lines love that. Then they can increase the rate.
Sure.
We get peak season. So right now, like I was saying, if you could change your button from purple to blue or whatever and take advantage of some of these rates.
You mean getting it out faster?
Yes,
Okay.
Let's get it out. Let's communicate with our supplier to see what they do have on hand.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, because you and I were talking offline, that just yesterday I was hearing people talk both ways of that shipping was more expensive and shipping was less expensive. We were specifically talking about sea shipping. So you're saying you're seeing less expensive costs on containers. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
As of right now. Now, 2 weeks ago,
sure.
Or when everyone thought they would be back to work and all the container freight. But I have talked to many of large, freight forwarders, brokers, as well as small ones. They are all experiencing that the business is coming back and it's getting back to its normal flow, in which I realized that some of the steamship lines always take down some of the trade lanes during the Chinese New Year.
Forgive me. What does that mean?
Right. They haven't brought them back yet. But
what does that mean though? The trade lines.
Do
you mean fewer boats running?
Routing, right. And even airplanes do that. They'll take and change around some of the routes because that lane is not as busy.
So they don't need to put as many ships out. Okay, so it's really a supply and demand issue. So at this point, they thought the supply would be there of people shipping, but it's less than it was. So whether because people are ordering less or just the factories are behind in getting stuff out. So if it's the factories are behind in getting stuff out and you're getting stuff out, you could get some deals. If you can get your factories to hurry up, you can get some deals. Are you seeing the same thing with air shipping that you are with sea?
I am usually after Chinese New Year. Now we're comparing this basically as an extended Chinese New Year. After Chinese New Year, air freight is sky high. I mean, sky high. Well,
because everybody wants to get stuff out and start restocking. Right.
And now we've got a deal on DHL that just came through. FedEx is working with small and large. The airlines have not raised it, and they're keeping their cargo freight at the steady norm too. So that's what I'm seeing. As when I say they haven't increased it, they haven't taken this as the normal after Chinese New Year. Oh my gosh, we're going to make a nickel off of the importers.
Right. Okay. So there's deals to be had, but the point is that could go in 2 weeks because supply and demand could shift. There's a lot to learn. It's still safe to send stuff from China, or it doesn't. We're not to pick on China, but other countries like Italy or other countries you may have heard of that are having
any of them
challenges with coronavirus, because as we saw from the World Health Organization and the CDC, the likelihood of spreading from a package is nil. And that's not us and our non-medical shooting from the hip. We're looking at people smarter than us that are telling us this. So, okay. Well, this has been very helpful information. So Pam, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and find out more, like if they had a shipment and they just had some questions or something along those lines, where could they go to reach you?
Pam at rpclogistics.net, or you can call me at 901-355-8759.
Okay, good deal. So I will go ahead and put in the description your contact information in case anyone has any questions.
Sure.
And we also linked to the articles from the World Health Organization and the CDC. So this has been very helpful, Pam. So I really appreciate you coming on and helping to shed some light, because I know I had a lot of questions with coronavirus and how that was affecting things.
Well, you're safe to ship.
All right.
Bring it on.
All right. Thanks so much, Pam.
Sure. Bye-bye.